G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the southwest side of the map, playing as the Abbasid dynasty in the colour yellow. It's Snooper. And in the northeast side of the map, opening with a barracks on the English in the colour green, it's Calp. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Altai. These two players are currently preparing for Golden League 2, which, if you're watching this video right now, as it gets posted live, it'll be in about 2 hours. So, Golden League is hosted over on EGC TV, so go say g'day, go give them a yell, see how they're doing. It's at 15 GMT for all you European folks, all you Yankees, 10 AM Eastern, and of course, all you Aussies down there, which is where I am. We'll see you guys at 2 AM. It's a bit early in the morning for you guys, look, I wouldn't be surprised if well, you just don't bother. And that's perfectly fine. You can always catch the VOD. Let's talk a little bit about this opening, because Calp has picked up a beautiful opening, stealing away plenty of sheep from his enemy. That's going to be feeling good, especially as the English, because you don't need the early sheep. Obviously, it's nice. I'm a little bit worried for the guy, though. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know how many dead sheep we've got back here, but my suspicion is you're very far away from home, my friend. And ideally, we want to get back home before 3 minutes. Because any later than that, and you are going to be having trouble in Paradise as we see villagers actually move off from food. I think, is he moving over to a different resource? Maybe looking to head out to gold. But we do have the men-at-arms on the way, and look at this. We got the double wolf defense potentially on the line here. Snooper doing a good job already, just having Gaia on his side. Unfortunately, they're not going to be doing a whole bunch of damage. These guys only do 3 damage apiece, and with the 3 armor, so it technically does nothing. Not really. Technically, it does one damage. Everything will always take 1 damage from any attack. That's important to remember. So that you can't go negative, you can't heal, and by the same token, you can't take you can't take no damage. All right, well, let's take a little look about how Snooper's doing as he actually spots the men-at-arms on the way through. We've seen this matchup a couple of times already. Interestingly, Snooper always looks to try and pick up the gold early on. So, you know, normally we try and align our gold and our food to cross over their respective thresholds at the same time. We don't see that this game. Snooper has been going for very early gold collection, just in case, quote unquote, just in case. And that's paid off for him here in this game. Obviously, scouting out that his enemy was going to be going for this early barracks, did spot that down. Now the gold going to be under pressure. And one of the things that we've seen that Snooper does, so obviously going for the culture wing here, what he looks to do is move a lot of villagers over onto wood, and he's going to be dropping down house, lumber camp, house, maybe another lumber camp, and that's going to be covering one of his weaknesses. His weaknesses here are that he can't access his gold, and, well, there's his stone down there. Where's the other stone? At the front, which has got a men-at-arms currently camping it. So there's no real option for him to be looking at those resources. So what can he do in the meantime? Well, he can go onto wood, and he can work towards that golden age. So that's what we're going to be seeing, I suspect. Now, one of the other things to note is that you do have access to Fertile Crescent if you go for the economic wing, which reduces the cost of those buildings down. But obviously here he's going for the culture wing. We've seen him do this before. I'm curious what he's going to be looking for today, whether it's going to be some type of fast castle. But there's the additional buildings now getting thrown down. Looking to put down the houses. Of course, the second lumber camp as well. Plenty of resources here in the bank, and throws down more and more houses. Look at this, the way he's funneling them forward. Probably not the best position, though, to be honest. You don't want them there in the wood line. It just creates a little bit more of a hazard for your villagers to walk around. But slowly and steadily, he continues adding in more buildings. Up to, how many are we up to? We're up to 7. And over on the other side, Calp yet to even really bother aging up. He has actually looked to take, or opted to take deer. Which is quite interesting. Deer are a little bit slow to pay off, especially in the Dark Age, just because you're dropping off a lot more resources. But once you do eventually drop off, you can see the resources will spike very quickly. I'm sure if he dropped off all of his villagers right now, he'd go to like 600 food or something like that. But Snooper, they're aging up. 4 minutes 18. Not a bad little time for the Snoopy. He's going to be adding in all of those additional buildings. So at the moment, sitting on 8 out of 10. That'll be his 9th. That'll be the 10th. That'll be the 11th. So he's doing well. Not a bad little timing. 4 minutes 35 for that golden age. Beautiful little time, actually. 4:35. And it's going to be the Abbey of Kings coming out for Calp. So it's great to be able to see this. We've seen the Council Hall come out before from English opponents to the Abbasid. So it's great to be seeing the Abbey. I'm curious what direction Calp looks to go with this, though, because a men-at-arms opening Like, typically against the men-at-arms, you're going to be defending with horsemen. It works pretty well for that, and we do see Snooper now immediately putting a horseman in the queue. I think he's got a stable somewhere. At least you'd hope so. Otherwise, how's he getting that horseman in queue? So that's a good thing, but we do see the archery range getting thrown down as well. So just going to be throwing out a few archers. So I think the king does well here because the king is going to be able to deal with any potential archer pressure that comes out. Also does very effectively against any kind of horseman pressure, and at the same time can also be used to heal. So some really good aspects to having the king here. But the men-at-arms going to be forced to run away. Now he can turn around and fight, but he will lose his life. I think the horseman does actually beat the men-at-arms one-on-one. Just the town center firing down a little bit. Does have the option of garrison here. Not going to be taking it though, and immediately moves back towards the gold. So I think we've got ourselves a fast castle coming in. 7 vills going out to gold. Almost certainly Snooper is going to be heading for that castle age. Men-at-arms coming out, turning around. More men-at-arms joining the battle, and we do hear that age up comes through. No sign of a king just yet for Kalp. But going to be turning his attention towards these darn wolves. Get out of here, Gaia. We had enough of your crap. And now the men-at-arms continue getting their early upgrade. This is going to give them a little bit of extra health, a little bit of extra damage. No extra armor though, not anymore. They actually buffed up the Dark Age men-at-arms so that you don't get the extra armor anymore. You've just always got the extra armor. Horseman coming out, looking to try and pick off some of these men-at-arms, doing a decent job here of pulling them back. Third horseman also going to be joining the fray. Single spear, or single archer, just for now. He manages to get the early men-at-arms down, does lose it, so unable to take it all the way back to the Abbey, unfortunately. But the king is about to come out, and this king will change the way that the game operates at this early stage. Now, where does Kalp go from here? Because he's got 5 vills on gold, and to me, that signals Castle Age. So we might actually have ourselves a little bit of a fast castle off right here. I guess that's what you could call it. A lot of vills though over on gold for Snooper. I guess he's looking at upgrades here as well. Keep in mind we've got preservation of knowledge coming through. Snooper, you better wait. Thank you. Thank you, Snooper. Doing the right thing there, cancelling his horticulture, just waiting for the upgrade to come through. Once that comes through, now he can get his horticulture upgrade. Now you can get everything that you like, Snooper. I'll let you go on. There we go. There we go. So they're at a reduced cost now, 20%. Now remember that the culture wing also reduces the cost of your next age up. So 960 and 480. So nice little discount there. A total discount of 360 resources, which is, you know, nothing to sniff at. That's nothing to sniff at. Is that the right term? It's not too bad. That's what I'm looking to that's the message I'm looking to carry across here for you guys. But Villagers of Kalp's gonna get caught out here. He'll be able to click the gold and see how much gold his enemy's taken and go, ooh, that's probably enough for Castle Age, right? Well, actually not really. He's still about 200 short at the moment. We'll need some spears back here. Not looking to get any out at the moment. Men-at-arms moving forward together with the knight. Could be actually hitting the wood line. The wood line has actually gone pretty far away from the starting town center. And will now begin hitting onto some of these villagers, causing some pretty big havoc in the base. And now Kalp just going to be looking to attack down this lumber camp and say, well, yeah, you've had enough wood for today. I think that'll do you. And, I mean, Snooper can very easily look down towards this position, but once again, it's a classic case of the town center not going to be able to cover it. So either he addresses the issue, or he just sits here going, well, you know what? I have enough wood. I don't need any more. Villagers having a little bit of trouble right now. Looks like another one will go down. Oh, it's so close, so close. That one's going to have to come in here. Go on. No, don't send that villager back out. Come on, this is an AoE 2 move. We learnt this in in episode 1 of Age of Empires 2. No, not the villager. We learnt this in episode 1 of Age of Empires 2. It's like your low health villager that you lured the boar with is going to make a farm underneath the town center. Why do you do that? Because that's the low health villager and you want to keep that bad boy safe. Or in this case, bad girl. Go on, go on. Yeah, look, he's pulling it. Is he baiting it? He could be baiting it intentionally. Maybe that's actually the play. How's he going on the other side of the map? Where are our units? They're down here on the south. He's cleaning up more wolves. That's the 3rd wolf he's taken out right now. So many wolves camping the base of Snooper. We got trade wing. I thought he went military wing. He's going trade wing. Okay, all right, we got ourselves a game. Snooper evolving the meta. I'm loving watching Snooper play. He's played culture wing before. He played culture into military wing. Now we have culture wing into trade wing in the Castle Age. This is big, and honestly, I like this a lot. I think this has got great potential. The question's going to be whether Snooper is able to get away with a trade boom. That's going to be the big question for me. And then even if that's the case, if he is, Oh gosh, where do we go from here? Because remember that late game for the English, the new English is somewhat nerfed, and it's kind of undiscovered as to how good that actually is. Yeah, kill that deer. Get it down. Yeah, get out of here. Go on, get. He kills the deer. But yeah, you know, we've got a number of nerfs that have come through. Number 1, network of citadels, that got nerfed. Number 2, we've got nerfs to the enclosures technology. Number 3, I think there was a nerf to something else. I can't remember. I remember it just being like all these small little late game nerfs on the English. So something to look out for. Cap's going to be clicking that age up button very, very soon. So we are going to be seeing fast castles coming out from both sides here, which is very interesting that the meta is trending towards this kind of little bit of units into Castle Age. And this is something that we've been seeing over a lot of the games. There's the King's Palace going to be going down. Absolutely no time for a Tower of Victory. Not the case. It's not called a Tower of Victory anymore. It's called a... Look at this. Kaup recognizing that his enemy was going trade wing and just immediately walling off down on this south side. Villager heading down. Really smart move here already just by Kaup. Just recognizing, hey, my enemy's doing trade. I'm just going to shut it down. Really, really smart move. Now, another thing to note is trade actually got nerfed. This was in patch notes. I probably need to do like a patch note review because these are kind of like the secret patch notes that nobody read because everyone just assumed the changes would be the same. They weren't the same. Lance is coming out. These guys should be more than capable of cleaning up everything as long as he focuses down the spears as soon as possible. Focus the spears. Focus the spear. There we go. Spear down. And yeah, from here, should be able to clean this up easily. Shouldn't be a problem at all. King probably going to be getting away. No real way that you're going to be able to chase that down. Looks like he sacrifices everything else. Says, good luck, guys. You're on your own. And then joins the front. But now we've got ourselves Snooper attempting to actually go for a second town center here. Traders moving down to this south side have picked up their gold. Only 61 gold for the moment. Not the highest amount of gold. Yeah, so with regard to trade, the way that it was nerfed is they reduced the amount of gold that traders bring in. So I think they reduced it by 10%. So maximum distance trade that you can do now is only going to net you like 162 gold compared to 180 before. So it's a pretty big nerf when you think about it. 18 gold. That's yeah, it's pretty decent. Like that's a fair nerf, and it's a deserved nerf, honestly. Like trade is accessible at this moment, and it just needs. I think that's definitely the right direction, right? Like you want to keep trade accessible, but you don't want to reward it too highly. Single wall down here on the south side, doing an incredibly good job. But was this a bit of a fake out in itself? Was Snooper just like, hey, I'm going for trade, lol, 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 but then he's actually like, actually, I'm just going town centers. Because, I mean, you could go economic wing from here and then go into Fertile Crescent, which is pretty decent, like 25% off TCs, and you could drop like 4 TCs down. That could be a thing. That could actually be a thing. That could be pretty decent, like getting up to Castle Age, just securing, like maybe getting your knights out there, starting your raids, and then adding in your TCs behind. Like that is 100% on the cards here for the Abbasid. Because remember that fresh foodstuffs, which hasn't actually been taken yet by Snooper, it's available irrespective of what wing you go for. It is just always available to you now as the Abbasid dynasty. But we're right on board with Kaup. Let's check in with him, see how he's doing as this wall comes up on the south side. Remember that you can always just look to trade with your enemy's trading post. This is something that we've seen starting to develop quite a bit now. And Imam's going to be moving out for Snooper. Kaup just going to be somewhat patrolling around the base. Does spot out the Imam. Could look to send the king after it. I'd be very tempted just to send the king because the king's quite quick. But he is going to spot that relic on the backside. Will also be led towards the town center. Scout trying to pull back a couple of units. There's the TC. He spots it out. And should become the center of focus now for Kaup. There's the charge coming through. Looking to try and connect with the Imam. Wallolol, gotta be go. Never mind. There was no such thing as a Wallolol. Big raids on the other side of the map. Take a look at that. We see plenty of villagers going down, so Snooper doing a decent job there. With the Knights, we'll definitely want to have this walled off. The consequence of not going for that safe base building practice that we do typically like to see. Slowly and steadily, this king is healing up some of the units. You can see right there, Men-at-Arms just receiving a couple of ticks. And there's the wall attempt coming in from Kaup. Spear's going to be moving back. This will be enough to chase it off, but looks like the Knights are going to be heading to the other side. You can see just how much damage those veteran spears do. Feudal spears, don't worry about them. Veteran spears, don't mess with those guys. Extra health, extra damage, that really does a lot. But now getting caught out of position. Spears and archers doing a decent job of just thinning out the units here. Lance is going to be baiting them back in, trying their best to get those charges in. Spears are going to have to turn around if they want to avoid taking any damage here. You can see just how well he's able to cut this down. Doing the right thing, honestly, just running away from these units is probably the best play, because the archers that follow are just going to be doing plenty of damage. Looks like another wolf going to get cleaned up. Calp just on wolf patrol this game. Second set of walls getting thrown down here. So where do these traders go from here? He goes up to the north? No? Yes? Yes. Yes, indeed he does. Heading up towards the north. So definitely the right decision. A lot of vills moving out. I'd love to see a market thrown down in this corner, just so you can have that really nice safe trade along that edge of the map. You could even look to wall this in. That's what I love. And then basically you anchor yourself towards this side. You know, stonewall it here, throw a keep on this side. Basically try and split the map down the middle like that. And basically, you know, you take this trading post, your enemy takes that one. It's a little bit of a weird playstyle, but it can 100% work when your enemy looks to isolate trading posts in this position. Archers, though, gotta be careful. Looks like they overstepped the market a little bit. Did I say overstep the market a little bit? I meant the mark, but you guys get the point. Still those lances coming through. Another relic going to be on the way in. Let's see if Cap spots it. Super running past. Don't think a Walla would have changed it, but those bells are going to start ringing, and he's going to know, hey, I got units back here. Jumps inside the outpost. Second lancer was quite low, and he does successfully block the charge right there with his knight, with his king. Really well done, and it looks like both of them will go down. Nice micro coming out from Calp there, shutting it down. And we'll switch these bad boys over. We're at 16 minutes now to income, so you guys get a better idea of where these guys are standing. We'll take a look here at Snooper. He's sitting on about 1,600, 1,900 compared over to his opponent, who's sitting at about 1,900 as well. So both of these guys pretty even Stevens, and village account at 59.59 with one relic apiece. You better believe they're at even Stevens. That is kind of wild. But yeah, double TC coming up now. Relatively similar timing. And what do we got down here? Okay, that's why. I was going to say, why are all of our ranged units moving down here to the south side? But that makes more sense. He's just going to clear out the walls. But beautiful, beautiful play from Calp. This is exactly what he needed to do. You know, don't make the assumption that your enemy won't trade to this corner. Just guarantee that they won't just by walling in the trading post. Really well done there. Relic gets taken out. King trying to poke it through. Not going to find too much luck. Another upgrade comes through. We see that. It looked like an upgrade came through. They kind of paused their attack. Men at Arms doing a decent job just cutting through. Knight coming out, or King coming out rather. Going to be looking to try and take out the relic carrying Monk, but the crossbowman able to dish out plenty of damage. It is technically a heavy melee cavalry, so they should counter it. I remember that they didn't previously, but I think they've changed it. They've amended it. Now these numbers starting to look good from Calp, honestly. I think the thing I find interesting is that he didn't go 2 TC on the opening. He just kind of stayed 1 TC into Castle Age. And that's really allowed him to keep up on the military count as a result. Interestingly, the farm transition has been pretty good from him as well. We'll check in now on the base of Snooper, though, how his farm transition's coming through. And it's looking almost non-existent. He's got a handful of farms, sitting on 5. And quite literally a handful. But he's had his trade shut down. I mean, ideally in this position, you wouldn't even go for a second town center. You'd just be looking to trade. But this is the problem with going for trade, is that it takes a while to pay off. That's the thing. You got to invest in it. You got to pay off. Numbers here looking pretty good for Snooper, though. He just needs to kite and he'll be okay. The question is going to be whether he's got the space to kite as he continues falling back. You can see just how much armor on those men at arms. No Chad armor cladding just yet. And now Longbowman going to be looking to help out. 8 crossbows in here. Should be enough to one-shot. Is it enough to one-shot? Yeah, looks like it is enough to one-shot the men at arms with the assistance of the archers. These guys got a little bit of extra help. No upgrades on these guys either. So both players without any kind of upgrades. Traders just running through the base, just being absolute Giga Chads. Heading down towards that south corner. And indeed, we do have the market finally coming up. Some extra markets getting thrown down. Snooper looking to go big. You know, you got to go big or you go home. And I can't help but feel like Snooper went big a little bit too late here. Maybe even needed to go earlier, but the problem was those walls, right? Like, how do you deal with the walls? Do you need to counter by getting your own walls up? But you don't expect your enemy to be walling that quickly. He walled really, really quick. He spotted the trade wing when the trade wing was being built and sent the villager down to repair or to build the wall. That's how quick it was. So really well played on the part of Calp. Spotting out that trade wing especially and recognizing it and then knowing what the correct play was. But we do see the market is now up in this corner. Traders still trading towards that House of Wisdom. Not the correct play. We'll need to be going across towards this corner. But Sacred Site's now starting to get captured. How did how did you get behind here? You went for a bit of a long walk, did you, mate? Impressive. Villager should be just sent up here. I don't think he's got the time to do it anymore. But should be looking to neutralize that. At the same time, towards the front, apologies. We've had ourselves a bit of a battle beginning to unfold. Golden Age Tier 2 had deactivated. I wonder if that was because of the lumber or the mining camp over here. And now Cap on the aggressive. Doing a really good job of shutting down the trade. We do see the traders making their way through, but they're still going to that House of Wisdom. This is where I was saying this change is actually like a bad change in my opinion. Just because trading from the House of Wisdom just seems so suboptimal. It's like, it just hurts players to do that. Oh my god, King. King does go down. An expensive loss right there. Diving into the battle, the poor King. Should have just been on hold ground. But I mean, all these units were in battle anyway, so it wasn't really doing much with regard to the healing. Let's see if he fixes up the traders, whether he remembers to do it. Upgrades starting to come through. We've got melee armor now. So now we've got the traders on the south side. These guys are going to be looking to join the trade network. I'm curious to see what kind of numbers they're pulling, though, because this is pretty close to a max distance. So my suspicion is 162 at maximum distance, which is all the way against the map. So I'm going to be thinking about 159. Oh, Drongo, how do you do it? How do you do it so well, Drongo? So good at maths and all those other numbers. 3.141592653589793235884. Yeah, I'm flexing a little bit on you guys right now. This is a little bit of a flex. You can Google that number if you don't know what it is, but let me just say right now, it is a very cute number. All right, well, Mangonel rolling off the blocks. He's going to do well against the longbowman on the backside. Crossbows should be pretty good on the defensive here. We'll need to make sure he stands on top. Mangonel gets a big shot on the back line and does indeed stand on top of the Mangonel with the crossbows. Beautiful control. Look at this. Absolutely pixel perfect stuff. And that Mangonel might be in a little bit of trouble, though. You can see beautiful micro coming through from Kalp. Stutter stepping. Gets a beautiful hit, though. Manages to take out 3 longbowmen. And now those spears going to be moving forward. Longbow's doing a decent job of just staying separated. Only one going down. And slowly and steadily just eating through all the crossbowmen. A couple of melee units left and more crossbows coming up the rear. Slowly that Mangonel is working down the units. And the Mangonel, it's getting worked down itself. I mean, not a lot of damage and beautiful splits coming in from Kalp. But the trade behind this is the thing that's concerning for me. The trade that's coming in. It's looking good, but at the same time, this is where I think he may have left his run a little bit too late, because now the mass from Kalp is starting to get scary. A forward keep gets thrown down right here. You're going to be losing all of this production. Then behind that keep, you're going to start seeing whether it's trebuchets, whether it's battering rams. It's going to be problems, though. And the English is suddenly looking like they're in a decent spot, just simply because they've got that mid-game mass. And it's so important to be holding this mid-game mass right now. Looking to camp that production up. Look at all the production. It's huge, the amount of production that is here. Ideally, you'd love to see a Mangonel or 2 from Snooper just in the pocket would be beautiful, and hold them right here. 2 Mangonels should be able to shut this down completely as long as you've got the men-at-arms to back them up. But it looks like we've got a bit of a run-through coming in. We enter into the cinematic mode. Do we dare? I'm kind of tempted to do it, but at the same time, let's not. Units moving through. He could also pull out the relics to Wallalol. You know, there are some times where you just feel like you need to hear it. I heard a Mangonel, or I heard a trebuchet. I heard something. It sounded like an elephant from Lord of the Rings. You know, the... Actually, that's more of like a Trent, isn't it? A Trent? A Treant? A Trent. Yeah, you know my friend, Trent? The big tree that lives and walks? That guy. So 2 sacred sites taken. The third, which is the safest for Kalp, yet to be taken. Interesting decision-making right there. He's picked up 2 of the relics. In fact, we got 2 relics apiece at the moment. 1 relic is safe for Snooper to pick up behind his walls. And the Springwood emplacement is going to be enough to hold on. Sacred Site neutralized in the north. How's Snooper doing on trade? Up to 13 traders, 3 of which are kind of useless. These guys right here, you can tell. So yeah, unfortunate that Snooper hasn't picked that up, but it's a small detail, right? He's also got access to technologies like Grand Bazaar, which he hasn't picked up just yet. You'd love to see him pick this up. Such a great technology, an extra 25% resources, so this is nice. And the first of the battering rams is coming through. Mangonels. Oh, we got ourselves some exciting time to be alive right now. Mangonels moving forward. Plenty of men-at-arms. This looks pretty good. Coming in from the Abbasid perspective, he needs to make sure he repairs, or rather protects these mangonels. Needs to keep the blockade up. Big shots on the backside. Battering rams making their way through. He's doing a decent job, but at the same time, the men-at-arms are just completely getting in on top of these mangoes. 2 mangonels remain. 1 has gone down. No springalds just yet, but the mangoes are getting eaten alive here. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how it's happening. Is it the men-at-arms still managing to keep 2 of them alive? 1 of them on a slither of HP, and now makes his way back. Crossbows together with the longbows, doing a really decent job. This is an English combination I didn't expect to see. English crossbows and longbows as your combination here against mangonels, and they're winning. Look at this. This is not something I expected to see. Villagers getting pulled. They're going to be dealing with the battering rams, and it feels like we're kind of evened out, but at the same time, the mass here from our English player is huge. Look at the size of it. He needs mangonels to deal with it, but what are the mangonels going to do when you've got all of these longbows and crossbows? Somebody nerfed these range units. There's the mangonel coming in off the blocks of the backline. Gets a big shot off, goes a little bit wide. Not going to be able to find any love over on that side. Where does he go from here? I guess horsemen? Horsemen? Does he make horsemen? What are those units? I've never seen those before. Surely they're a thing, right? And villagers just getting eaten alive. Snooper able to sacrifice these units. Remember, he's got trade going. This is his victory condition. If he's able to keep this trade alive and survive, he should be in a pretty decent spot. The question's going to be whether he's able to survive, though, because at the moment, it definitely feels like he is struggling. These villagers don't even have their textiles just yet. He's able to pull them and keep that production alive. Got to be careful with those men-at-arms, though, as they begin moving through. Springled in placement. Got to be able to give him some decent backup here. This is definitely a nice play. Stable getting thrown down. Finally, Snooper realizes I can make horsemen. Horsemen going to be the key unit that he needs right here. You know what? I think even some knights would go decent. Beautiful shot from the mangonel. You'd think in this position the mangonel would be holding you victorious, but it's just not the case. At least not today. Still, these numbers looking so small. Look at the units funneling in. There's going to be plenty more men-at-arms coming in. And I just can't help but feel like Kaup is just whittling him down. He's got him on the edge of his seat. Snooper trying to find a way back into this game. He's got enough resources for a keep, but at the same time, when the battering rams are flooding the way that they are, where is he getting these battering rams from? He's making them from the siege workshops. Get out of town! I can't believe it. He's making battering rams from the siege workshop and just flooding them in. This is amazing. I don't think I actually love the battering ram. It's such a strong siege unit compared to something like the trebuchet, which is so weak, so flimsy, so easily able to be killed. And now Kaup has really got him on the back foot. Where does Snooper go from here? Once the traders are threatened, then we're going to have trouble. Now, he does have access to some unique trading technologies like armored caravans, which would help him out a huge amount if these men-at-arms were to make their way through, yet he still hasn't picked them up. So there's a little bit of a mass building for Snooper. He's trying his best to hold on, but I'm thinking we might actually see our first English victory. Kaup slowly pushing him down. This is not an English combination I expected to see. Longbow crossbow. Probably the most unexpected combination. He was literally taking on mangonels. It was kind of wild watching that in real time. I just couldn't believe it. I was just waiting any second for the mangonel shots to land and kill all of the units. Do I dare suggest a mangonel buff? No, Drongo. Surely not. Look at the defensive position. This is kind of crazy, right? Like, no spearmen at all. Crossbow's able to do it. Now, granted, if he had enough time to build up a horseman mass here, he'd be a-okay. But look at this. He's not even building the keep. Oh, they're playing under tournament rules. So the keep gets cancelled. Instead, he's going to drop outposts and use those as his keep. And now we've got Snooper dropping down the keep as well. He thought he wasn't playing under tournament rules. He says, this is the rank ladder, baby. I don't care about tournament rules. Give me those points. He's trying his best to keep himself in the game. Villagers looking to build up the keep, but at the same time, Kaup says, well, you can put the keep up, but I'm putting it down, baby. And the keep goes down in the blink of an eye. Look at the battering rams, dude. Somebody stop these rams. He's taking him to the ranch right now, and good game gets called, and we ain't even at the showers yet. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out EGC TV, 15 GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Australian, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Go check out Snooper, go check out Kaup. I'll leave links in the description, and of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.